Welcome to episode 22 of the Prosperity on Air podcast. I'm your host, Paola De Vescovi, and with me today I have a guest who's very dear to me for many reasons. To begin with, because we are very much aligned. We speak from the same page. We are business coaches, both of us, but our spiritual journey is a very important component of our approach to coaching. And we combine spirituality, intuition with the strategy, so we speak the same language. But she is also Italian, so we come from the same country. She lives in the UK, in London, and she has organized an amazing conference. So you will hear about it in the episode. And I'm going to be there for the conference. I'm honored to be one of the speakers, a conference that will inspire many women to go after their passions and their dreams. So intuition, business strategy, combining the two, how to trust your intuition, how to ask your intuition the right questions to receive the right and very precise answers to those questions. How to be sure that the message that you put out there is clear and the right message to attract the right clients. Client attraction and resilience. All these are some of the topics that we will be covering today. So I'm very excited to have my friend Debora Luzi on this episode with me. So just a few things about Debora. As I said, she's an intuitive business strategy and she specializes in client attraction. She combines strategy and intuition in order to help entrepreneurs to show up big for their business, bolder and more authentically, so that they can create a deeper connection with their audience, which will eventually lead to more sales. She's the founder of an online community, the Writing Club for Entrepreneurs, where she helps entrepreneurs unleash their writing genius and find their true voice. She teaches members how to fall in love with writing, which is not necessarily an easy part of your business. So how to fall in love with writing for their business and making money from it in the most creative, fun and unique way. She has recently given birth to probably one of her biggest projects, which is the Women Who Dare to Desire conference that she's planning to take worldwide, which is a one-day event that provides a center stage to visionary women, no matter their background, who want to inspire other women to follow their desires in their lives, to follow their passion. She's the mother of 3 gorgeous boys, a salsa dance lover, and a daring woman. She's very busy, as you can imagine, juggling between her family, her business, all these projects. And she's an amazing person with an amazing energy. So without further ado, let's move to my conversation rather than an interview with Debora. Debora, thank you for being with me today.
You're welcome, Paula. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, I'm very, very, very happy. And I have already introduced you a little bit to our listeners, but I would like you to tell something about yourself and the amazing work that you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Paula. So I am intuitive business mentor and strategist. I work mainly with female entrepreneurs, Paula, to help them attract more clients and make more sales. And I do that using strategies and intuition. So I don't believe in only strategies in your business or only following your intuition, but I believe in beautifully combining them for, the best result and success. And also I'm a founder of the Writing Academy for Entrepreneurs, which is an online community of entrepreneurs who are eager to unleash their writing genius, fall in love with writing for their business and making money from it. Because words is absolutely your most powerful marketing tools that we have. And sometimes people hire coaches and spend thousands of dollars and pounds, and they don't realize that the gold is really in their message, in their content, in their words, and it's about how they express themselves. So this is what I do in the club. And then, of course, I'm also the founder of a beautiful, beautiful women conference, which is going to happen in January, 31st of January 2020. It's a center stage, Paula, for visionary women that wants to inspire the words, but they find it difficult and challenging to find a platform to actually share their stories. Maybe because their following is not too big, or they don't have money to invest, or they don't know anybody, but they really have a desire to motivate and inspire. So following personal rejection, following rejection of other women in my community that they couldn't really find any platform, I decided to create one. And of course, it is a platform for speakers, for women, but also for other women to hear those messages, those stories, and unleash their own desire and really get motivated and inspired. And it has also a healing kind of magic to it. So it will be quite spiritual, there will be meditation, there will be healing, sharing, singing, dancing. So yeah.
Yeah, so January 31st, and we will put the link into in the show notes of this episode, but we will be speaking during this interview. Yes, of course, we will be speaking more about this very first event, and I'm honored to be there. So fantastic.
You are a speaker, exactly.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to being there in January. So you mentioned the importance of combining strategy and intuition. Okay, so how do you combine it? How you get in touch with your intuition, and how this combination is not only much better than just strategy, but really more powerful. So it helps you, achieve more results.
Yeah, absolutely. There is I personally experienced, I invested in coaches that were only focused on strategies. So you knew exactly what to post, all the posts, the content was already scheduled. You knew exactly what you were going to launch, really strategically, everything done, already planned. And then I worked with other coaches that were waking up in the morning and just listening to the whisper and going with the flow and putting out there whatever came on that day. And there is one thing before I go into my strategy, I want to specify for all the viewers here that intuition is the voice of your higher self. So what I call it, we have a higher, more elevated version of ourselves that is pure. We live in this physical form where we have limitation, we have fears, we have beliefs, we have emotional trauma, so much in this physical body. So the higher self is a purer version, is a most powerful version of ourself that doesn't really know fears, that knows exactly how to, to help you to get to where you want, which doesn't think, oh, but if I do that, I'll be judged. Oh, I can't do that because it's scary. Your higher self is just so powerful that doesn't know any beliefs, any limitations. So the intuition is the voice of this higher self. And how, as I say, is usually whisper. I think Steven Spielberg called it the whisper of the soul. And that is exactly what it is those little messages that we receive on a daily basis. But we don't listen to it, Paula, because many, many times I'm scared. Like, my intuition tells me all the time scary things to do, because of course it doesn't have any fear and it knows exactly what I want. And to get what you want, you need to go past the limits, past the limitation, past the beliefs, past the fears. You see, so how do you connect to your intuition? You need to listen. You need to be ready to listen to those first thoughts. And I give you a very small example for your viewers. Let's say you are in front of a crossroad and you got the road on the right and the road on the left. And you go there and your first thought is like, where am I going? And then there is a whisper and say, take the right. Okay? So that's the first thoughts, which is like coming from the higher self. And then we get it. But then the humans, we worry and we doubt. And it's like, maybe there is a lion on the right. My friend, she told me that last time she went on the right, there was, a storm. Maybe I should go on the left. My husband always tells me to go on the left. I don't think I should go on the right. Let's go on the left. So we drive away from that thought that is actually told us, go on the right. But we don't listen it because maybe the right looks there is like a clouds over the right. So we fear it and we doubt ourselves. And so we listen to the second, the third, the fourth, and we disregard the first thoughts. So intuition is always the first very thoughts that comes to your mind. And the reason why we don't listen is because it's scary. So going back to, I kind of resume, going back to your question, how do you beautifully combine the two? This is how I do it, Paula. I imagine I apply 50% strategies. So that means that in a month or in 6 months, I know, for example, I'm going to focus on the conference. I'm going to launch that. I have a focus. This month I'm doing a challenge. Then the other months I'm going to promote my conference and I'm going to promote my writing club. So I know the goals. I know the focus. I know how much money I want to make. And so I create the bank. I call it the river bank. Like that's okay. This is my focus. And then the intuition is the water that flows daily into the river bank. And then I listen in the morning. I know that my focus, for example, this month is promoting my writing club. And as I know that, I listen to the whisper. And the more you listen, the more they will come. Because it's like a praise. The intuition will go, oh, she listened. I like it. Let's send her more. So it's kind of like that. So then the whisper in the morning will go, okay, Debora, so this month you're focusing on that. Create this challenge. Go live in that group. Do this post. Do this offer. Try and do it. So it gives me little messages. Like, the missing puzzle. And, it gives me like the direction. Like the little steps of this direction. So this is how I beautifully combine. I don't know if it makes sense.
It does. But, I'm often asked by my clients, but you spoke about the first thought. So the first thought is your intuition. But, in this flow of thoughts that we normally have during the day, how can I really be sure that this is my intuition and it's not my mind? You mentioned already the fact that intuition often urges you to do scary things. But are there any other, suggestions, signs that we can recognize to be sure, yes, this is my intuition speaking to me?
Yeah. So first of all, when you doubt it, it's, there is like a sign that you have a strong saboteur in you, right? Because the intuition, there is no doubt. And is, how do you recognize it, you said? So an intuitive, like, how do you recognize? Because intuition, for example, I go in the park and I meditate and I do things and I have a thoughts. That thoughts comes and it's usually a little action, something that I need to do. It's like contact that person, write to that magazine. And it's this kind of things, do this. And it's, for example, a lot of the time it tells me, oh, contact that person for the conference. And I'm like, I don't even know them. So I have doubts because it feels uncomfortable.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
So the intuition, this is a very good point, is to recognize intuition and fear. Is intuition feels expansive and scary at the same time, but fear feels contracted. And you will get to learn, to do this. Because when something, it's really truly the first thoughts that comes about an idea. Usually intuition is about an idea, is about a thought. And you recognize it because fear, it's always, when it's fear, because it's like kind of restricted, it's tense, it's like, no, maybe, you really doubt yourself, maybe I shouldn't do it. But intuition feels excited and scary at the same time. Mm-hmm. It feels expansive. Like when I had my intuitive hit to do the conference, you would say, how do I know that's the right things for me? Because it came clearly, 6:00 in the morning. I woke up and it was like, you're going to organize a conference. And the second thought was like, no, how? How am I going to do this? But that first thought felt really exciting, Paola. It was like, oh my God, but it felt also scary. And then, of course, the second comes and say, no, Deborah, what are you going to do? It's the voices you will recognize, because that's another thing. Helping your intuition, it's really you becoming aware of your subconscious mind, of your mind chatter. Like I'm very aware of my mind chatter. So when you become aware, you kind of go, aha, you are trying to get me out of here. You recognize them all and you kind of label them. But if you live a life very unaware of your negative patterns, then it's going to be really difficult to listen to your intuition. Do you know why? Because you're always going to try and get out of it. Yeah. But that's why one of the first steps is to recognize your mind chatter.
So it is very important to take the time during the day. We are so busy and involved, in all the daily things that we do. So it is very important to stop every now and then and pay attention to what is going on in your mind.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe, for example, I meditate in the morning, or something that I started to do. This week I was quite ill, and last week. So I started to nap, even for 10 minutes, because intuition doesn't come from a busy mind. So it's very important that my intuition, I'm so in tune with my intuition that it can come even in a crowded place. But I noticed that when my mind there's too much chatter, too much stress, and it's not, it just doesn't come through, because all this mind chatter, imagine, is like an umbrella, and the intuition is trying to go down, but it's like a barrier. So it's very important that you put yourself into a relaxed mode, into a receiving mode, and you allow it to receive. You don't go, what is the intuition going to tell me? Oh my God, she's going to tell me to do these things. I don't want to do it. It's really trust. Really, really trust.
Trust that it is for your own good.
Yes, absolutely. And I can share, I don't know if I can share, Paola, how the whole conference came about.
Yeah,
Um,
please.
so basically, I was, sorry, I was at an event, and I always trust my intuition. So I was as an event, and I had proposed the organizer to speak already. And she said she really she loved my pitch, my talk. And I was like, wow, I'm very, very impressed. She was doing a conference. And then because there was other people on the panel and she had to consult other people, they decided not to go ahead. She said, no, it's not really a good topic. And I was like, why? It's not a good topic. I think this is what your people need to know. But there's a lot of things going on. So my talk didn't go through. But there was another talk that she was doing for like a smaller audience. And I thought, okay, maybe I'll do that. And then again, she chose somebody else. And because the other person following was much bigger. And then on the night, there was a chance to speak for like a few minutes about something. And I prepared my speech. And I wasn't picked on the night, but that was nobody's fault. It was like a draw, coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
And I was sitting there, Paula. I wanted to cry. And I was like, why? What is my intuition telling me? And I was like, why, if I have so much desire to speak, why are you doing this to me? And my intuition kept saying, wait. And I was getting really frustrated. And I was like, no, I don't want to wait anymore. I've tried. And then she was whispering, trust. And it was really hard because I just, I was like really fighting it. And then, of course, it was like, don't worry, Debora. It was really reassuring me. And at the end, I decided to surrender and trust my intuition and decided that was how it was meant to be. And if all this balava hadn't happened, we wouldn't be here talking about the Women with Earth to Desire conference. So if I had gone on that talk, if I had been picked, nothing of this would have happened. So I had to trust and surrender to my intuition. And it's hard sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you think, why? Why do I need to do? Why are you doing this to me? And the intuition took me even in that room where I didn't want to go because I had already rejected once. And my ego was like, why are you going there? And my intuition was like, you're going there that night. And I fought with it, Paula, so much. I was like, I don't want to go there. They rejected me. Why am I going to show up my face? But I went because I listened. And if I didn't go that night, nothing of this would have come.
Yeah.
And it was very unpleasant to go, and it was doubting, and it was like, no, my ego was all over the place. But I decided to go. So it's really about surrendering and trusting. But again, Paula, there is one thing that, I want all the viewers to be specific about this. Surrendering and trusting and not sitting down and doing nothing. No. But any action that the intuition gives you, you listen and you follow it. It's not like when you manifest. Yeah, you write down 20 times that you want £10,000 this month, and then you sit on your desk and wait. No, it's not about that, like everything. So very, very important.
And you mentioned a very important thing, and which I think it's also related to this question about intuition, which is the importance of words. That words are important for the message that you are communicating to the world. But I think words are also very important for the questions that you ask your higher self, your intuition. So you have to be able to ask the right questions to receive the right answers. Is this correct?
Absolutely, yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. Very, very important to ask, even when, it's not only for our higher self, but, as coaches, our mentors, we need to ask the right question as well to our clients or to our coaches. It's absolutely, yeah, you said it. It's really, really important, because there is always, and I always say, there is always a peeling the layer with words, with questions. It's not just a simple question, but it's like and. So you can go a little bit deeper and deeper. Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. And also be very specific.
Yeah, absolutely. Specificity is very important.
Yes. And I think this is important in your messaging too. So if I had to ask you, I'm a client and, I've been out there for a while, I'm not attaining the right results. And I understand that maybe my message is not clear. So what is a clear?
Sorry.
What is a clear message? What is it that gives clarity to your message? Mm-hmm.
First of all, it goes back to the ground zero, the beginning. Knowing exactly what are you selling, what you are about, and what your client is about. This goes absolutely to that. That's why it's any courses, anything that you do, you talk about your ideal client. And it's so important, because it's so important that you know them upside down. But it's not about knowing them, where they live, the age, and all these kind of things. I'm not into demographic, age, or anything. But it's really about their feelings and what they truly want. And the other things, Paula, that I always say, the message is also to be clear about your message. You need to, the client attraction that I teach is made of two things: you and your client. So most coaches focus on their client, but they don't focus on you, right? So who are you? Who are you standing for? What is your story? Why are you different? Why is your message different? So this is all the things that you need to look at. And then when that is clear, because a lot of the time, when I scroll through my Facebook, messages are all over the place. Because people only focus on their ideal clients. And they don't really focus on themselves, on what is really their business about. So being clear about the message, then I expand a little bit more, knowing you and knowing them. And then I expand this is about knowing exactly how to talk to those triggers, to those, using these exact words that will make your client goes, oh my God, that is me. Oh my God, she's talking to me. Oh no, I can't believe this. Is that connection? And again, a lot of the people are putting message out there that is too generic, that speaks to every woman. Are you depressed? Sometimes, I had clients that we talked about confidence, for example. Do you want to feel more confident? You're a confident coach. And people go they put messages out there. Do you want to feel more confident? Sign up for my one-to-one. That is not going to get anywhere. Because who are you?
Yeah.
Was there something about you? And what type of confidence? What do you mean by confidence? Could be confidence to speak, confidence to write, confidence to get clients, confidence to connect. There's a lot of different things. And what is the context of this confidence that you're putting out there? I'm trying to really resume everything.
Yeah.
But I just want to give you some hint to your viewers as well, to really understand that message, especially when you are a coach, it's more than just putting something out there and saying, buy my product and services. It's really going down to the details and saying, I can go on and on with this subject because I have a writing academy for entrepreneurs, and this is what we do. I teach people to really use their words in such a most effective way so that their stuff sells and attract their audience. When you put a message out there, I always say, read it back. And would you buy? Would you get Be really analytical. And many times when I put something out there and I read it back and I was like, no, this wouldn't really make me stop. So the only way to make you stop is really by imagine that when you write your message, you're entering your client's brain to the details, to the way they hold a pen, for example, to the way they hold their phones, or to the way they speak when they're not confident. This is about clarity of message that really resonate, we resonate with your audience. And of course, there is so much more, Paula.
Absolutely. It's a very broad topic, and of course we cannot go into the details of it here in 30 minutes, but it is the goal is that, of having your potential client saying, oh my God, you're reading my mind. This is, exactly how I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, the problem I'm facing. And, one thing that I want to stress, and I want this to be very clear because it's something that, often comes up with my customers as well. It's not something that you learn overnight. It is a muscle that you have to train, to develop, and to refine, and to go back to it several times and change things here and there. And another thing, experiment. We are experimenters. There is no right and wrong thing to do. We have to experiment what works best with this client that you have in mind. Correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah. It takes time, it takes patience, and sometimes, we are living in a world where we would love to have the solutions, here and there when you ask for them, but it's not the way things work.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's a constant trial and error, Paula, as well. It's really about trying, see what works, experiments, and really be resilient and be consistent, and just don't give up at the first obstacle or anything. It's especially defining your message. It takes you to really go deep within yourself and understanding and being who you are, because a lot of the times I just did a post on my wall about a lot of coaches and people giving templates for people. Use this, use that. And I don't believe in that. I don't believe it because they don't carry the energy of your energy behind. And maybe that is good for their audience, but it's not good for your audience.
Yeah.
So it requires, absolutely a lot of, patience, trial and errors. Very important. Wow, the sun is shining in.
And experimenting. So you use the word resilience, which is a word that, I think it's a value that you have, knowing you a bit, I know your story, and thanks to your resilience, you've created this writing academy. Can you tell us something more about it, and how people can know more about it and maybe join your academy?
Yes, absolutely, Paula. So the Writing Academy is an online space, and I believe is one of the only online space, and there is no such a thing like that online, that is focused on content creation and communication specifically for entrepreneurs. What I say, I help you to fall in love with your content so that you can start to make money from it. Because you hire coaches, you got product and offers, and then you put it out there. How are you going to put it out there? Through words. So it's very important that you know how to use those words, and that they are authentic and they come from you. So in the club, in the academy, there's a monthly membership, so it's £47 per month. There's a massive discount if you join per year, which is only 333 for the whole year.
Okay.
And the whole club is an encyclopedia of training on writing subject. So also about how to write articles, how to, techniques of persuasions, how to write sales pages, how to get your content more engaging, how to make your content to sell more. So it's all really focused. And also we do a lot of storytelling. So I give the members 2 writing prompts a week to help them get writing. Because that's the whole point about you getting your writing. So I give prompt. We have over 115. So you have your content sorted for the whole year. Because when you don't know what to write about, you just go and search for a prompt and you have it. Then we have live Q&A. And then we have also write live in session. So we get together all in a Zoom and I give a prompt and we write that together. So I personally wrote sales pages on that time. There is people that wrote their story. They wrote their challenge. So it's a very creative space where I lead and then you write and I give you some, obviously, prompts. And then I have guest speakers as well every month. I give writing feedback. So it's really, really a comprehensive academy. And I believe there is no such a place online like that. Focus on words and communication.
And can people join all year long, or do you open registration?
At the moment, they can join.
Okay.
They can join every time.
Yeah.
Probably in the future, I will restrict. There is no minimum commitment for the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So you can join, you can pay £47 and see if it's for you or if it's not for you. You can join 1 month, for 6 months, or for 12 months.
Okay.
And then, of course, all the training are there for you. So it's absolutely the most comprehensive place to help you. And some people ask me, but I already have a coach. And I'm like, it's totally different.
Yeah.
This is actually going to complement
the work that you're doing with your coach.
Yes, this is like a complementation and it's very affordable as well. Like you pay coaches thousands and thousands of pounds, plus you have me coaching because I am also a business mentor. So you get the best of both worlds with that.
Yeah. And what about the conference in January? So can people register? Registration is still open, more or less how the day works?
Yes, so early bird is gone now. We sold them. We have 20 amazing speakers and one, I have it in front of me here, the wonderful Paula. I'm really looking forward to meeting you and hearing you speaking there. It's a day where, the tickets are £40, which is so reasonable again, because I want everybody to, be affordable for people to come, because it is my mission to really inspire many women that find their way is lost. They find, I really don't know what to do. They feel they've gone, maybe they become a mother too much. They become a wife too much. They have lost their sense of identity. They see all their friends and going and doing things and following the stars and doing all these things, but they're like, what am I doing? Where is my space in the world? And so it's really a day to listen to those beautiful stories of women like you that have endured, challenges and difficulties in their life to break through the fears and really going for what they truly love. So it will be a day of uplifting you, motivating you, inspiring you. And as I say, you will leave with your heart on fire. You will leave with so much desire and will to leave and to actually go and do what you truly love. We will have performances. There will be a gift. There will be surprises. There will be a chance to network. There's going to be a lot of like-minded women. So the ticket is on Eventbrite. Again, we can share the link.
I will share the link.
And also, the last things I want to mention, if you want to speak, You buy a general admission ticket and you can win one of three. We have 4 slots of 3 minutes to for anybody that wants to speak. It will be 3 minutes, but remember, you can make an impact in 1 minute. So we just put all the name in a bowl, and then we'll draw 4 people.
Fantastic. So, Debora, thank you so much for being with me today and for sharing this very useful and amazing tips with my audience. As I said, I will add all your contact details in the show notes so that people can know more about you, about the Writing Academy, and hopefully join us in January for the conference.
Absolutely.
And I hope to have you again here on my show. Maybe, we will pick up a specific topic and really go deep into it.
Absolutely. I'm really, really happy to do that. That's what I'm here for, to really share my knowledge with others. So it will be a pleasure. Thank you very much. Thank you to all of you that have listened. And I most definitely look forward to getting to know you more. Click on one of the links that Paolo will share, and I'm sure if your intuition tells you to do that, just follow it.
Beautiful. Thank you again, Debora. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Bye, everybody. Bye.
So, are you ready to grab pen and paper or your computer keyboard and start writing amazing content for your business? Maybe you don't feel ready to do that and you need to learn something more. So I'm sure that if this is your desire, if you want to learn about writing amazing content that attracts the right customers for your business or for your practice, you maybe want to get in touch with Debora. So I will make sure that all the links to her website, to her writing club, and to the Women Who Dare to Desire conference are included in the show notes of today's episode. And I'm sure that you enjoyed this episode as much as I did. I know that I always say this at the end of all the episodes of the Prosperity on Air podcast, but I really enjoy these conversations with my guests. I always learn a lot from them. There's always, some food for thought, something I like to reflect upon. And that is very important for my personal and professional growth, as well as for my spiritual life. So I'm sure it's the same for you. So just go to the show notes in the episode. You will find them at www.projectprosperity.com/022 Prosperity on Air. You will find all the links to know more about Debora, the conference, and the writing club, and all the links to get in touch with her. And if you enjoyed this episode, leave us a review on iTunes or on Spreaker, also on our YouTube channel. I will add that in the show notes as well. On our Facebook page, Project Prosperity Facebook page. And also send us your questions. There may be topics you are interested in, and I will be very happy to cover them myself if I'm in a position to do that, or to invite the right guest to cover the topic that you have chosen. In the meantime, I wish you a wonderful week, and I will see you next week with another episode of the Prosperity on Air podcast. Bye for now.